Hi everyone, Cherie Keller here. This is Unit 2 discussion post. To start off with, the school that I chose that is using Facebook or social media for public relations is actually the school that I used to teach at, and I've had two of my own children graduate from this school, and that is Skyview High School here in Nampa. So I thought it would be fun to find out just how they are using social media in their public relations campaign. As a parent, I've had both of my children involved in the music programs at the school, and I knew that the school used Facebook extensively to communicate with us as parents in terms of what was needed for support, sign-ups, volunteer, what the events were, schedules, all of that. And I found that to be very effective as a parent. I always felt very informed, maybe even more informed than I wanted to be in terms of what they needed and parent volunteers and all of that. I hadn't taken the opportunity, however, to actually just look at the Facebook homepage that Skyview uses, and I was surprised to find how much content is there. They have over 1,000 followers. I found lots of posts showing things that are going on at the school, videos of graduation, videos of assemblies, um, pictures of sports teams who have been successful, those kinds of things. And I feel like they do a really good job of informing the community. If you want to be a follower of their Facebook page, you would be very informed and aware of the things that are going on at the school. However, I feel like something that they could do a little better is keep their Facebook page a little more current. The Some of the things I was looking at were actually up to 2 years old, and I remember reading in our textbook it said that if people find that a site is not well maintained, then they won't tend to want to visit it very often, and that kind of defeats the purpose of that of the public relations campaign. Also, as we've been learning in this class, PR is definitely a two-way communication. And so I wanted to see how easy it would be for me as a patron to send an inquiry through Facebook. And I found it to be very easy. In fact, they even had pre composed questions that are frequently asked questions. And so I actually just sent an inquiry asking them to let me know a little bit more about their school, and I'll be interested to know how quickly they respond. I haven't had a chance to hear back from them yet. The other thing we were to talk about is legal and ethical considerations in the use of social media. And I did actually find through some outside sources definitely some ethical and legal things that we would need to consider in our use of social media. I think the one that pops out in my mind right away is privacy issues, both ethically and legally. As I mentioned, I went on the Facebook page of Skyview High School and found pictures of all kinds of people that I knew, students, parents, and wondered what the legal ramifications were of using images of particularly students, and if that is some invasion of their privacy. Also, ethically, I know not every um, parent, family, student has access to social media. I think that's probably less common today than it has been, but still, it might um, alienate a few people. But I suppose that that may be a minor consideration on the ethical side, since the majority of people are able to access social media, and it would be an effective way to communicate with them for sure. Also, it definitely, what the examples that I found would definitely be an efficient way to engage stakeholders, as you could see the achievements and the activities and things that were going on at the school. But again, I was concerned about the privacy, and especially if they were posting anything that had to do with student achievement from a legal perspective. How is FERPA affected by that? Also, where would the line be drawn for a student's right to free speech? If they wanted to go in as a student of Skyview and broadcast something and it maybe didn't meet the standards of the school, where does their right to free speech intersect with the right of the school to represent itself through their own social media? So I felt like that was a legal consideration. And also, if it in any way opened up the possibility for cyberbullying, if that having students out there and having it be more public as students and teachers and parents are posting. And if that were the case, what would be the school's ethical and legal responsibility to intervene in a situation like that? So those were things that came to mind. Lastly, we were asked to talk about what the value would be in having a social media policy. And I feel like it would be critical to have a policy in place ahead of time, because as we know, there could be a violation of something, ethically or legally. What would the school do in the case of a violation? What would the school do in the case of an emergency? What types of relationships are appropriate or inappropriate between teachers and students and parents and so on and so forth? I feel like that would definitely need to be communicated, especially to the staff, if for no other reason, just for the school to protect its own liability and to make sure that the teachers, especially, are trained. As many of the articles that I found are showing that social media is being used in the classroom as an interactive learning tool as well. And so if teachers are not informed through a policy, and they're maybe engage in something that could be questionable, it would definitely be important to be able to rely back on that policy that had been established with the help of administrators, parents, teachers, students, and of course legal counsel on the part of the school or district. I think that's it. I wanted to just double check my notes and make sure I'd covered everything. Hope you guys are enjoying the class and have a great week. Bye.